I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You can learn a lot about the law from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sounds like clickbait, sounds like I'm making shit up, but in essence, the reason why you can learn a lot about the law from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very confusing, very contradicting game. It's full of effects that you have to read very carefully, and even then, sometimes the wording does not reflect what is actually in practice. It's always being, changed in tournament formats. You usually have to call a judge in to interpret the card or its interaction with other cards, I should say, and things like that. And that is exactly how the law works. Lawyers don't like it when people call them scam artists, but in essence, they have to be scam artists in order to sustain the contradictory system that they've entangled themselves in. And I point this out time and time again, and people think I'm talking out my ass. And at the same time, then they get all butthurt when, I threaten to dox them or otherwise threaten them. And, they can say threaten all they want to, but we come to this Yu-Gi-Oh-like standstill where they can't do anything to me. And while technically I, as an individual, can't do anything to them, eventually it will collapse on them because they don't know or don't want to know the contradictions, and it's just going to, implode. For example, let's say I get banned from Reddit or any subgroup of Reddit thereof. You cannot ban a legal person. You can't do it. It's discrimination. There's all kinds of libel and defacement involved in what you claim they did. Are you willing to prove that they did that in order to ban them from your establishment? And again, you're a person. You can't be banning a person. You can call the police on a person, and the police can escort them out, but that is not technically banning them. That is simply the police are telling you to leave because they want to talk to you, most likely intimidate you. Or otherwise, we play this game, but that does not necessitate that you have the right to ban me or, anybody else. Now, we know that Reddit and Twitter and 4chan and Facebook and every other website in the world bans people. We know this. So they're committing a crime. And they want to argue that, the trolls are committing a crime because they threaten people, they dox people, they harass people, they do things like that, but it cannot be both. You cannot hold me or anybody else accountable for what we do if you're going to be banning us. Or at the very least, you owe us so much in back money that we can more than easily afford our way out of the situation. At the very least, you know what? If I have to spend my life in jail as a billionaire, and get to play tennis with all the other rich prisoners, or fucking at the very least you have to live on the street because you just owe me so much in backlogs that you're in debt for the rest of your life to me. You know what? I'll live with it. So there's this turnaround of all these contradictions under capitalism and under the neoliberal laws that, I don't even know why moderators will get involved, and well, I know why, because they're psychopaths, but, I rationally speaking, I couldn't understand why they would get involved and just not ban people. It amazes me that normies get all pissed off about blocking people when that is just between individuals. If somebody blocks me because they don't want to talk to me, it's a dick move, but I'll live with it. That is between me and that other human being. But for you to say that, it's not that you don't want to talk to me, it's that you don't want me to talk. And again, that is a different set of circumstances, that is a different connotation than if just you as an individual blocked me from talking to you. And, we come back to this standstill that you can't ban me, but you did. So guess what? I get to harass you, I get to dox you, I get to troll you, I get to do whatever I want to you. Because I'm not a legal person. I'm not legally liable. Now, if you were to try to prosecute me or anybody in this situation, all you'd end up doing is prosecuting yourself, because only you could be liable as the website owner and as the person that's in charge of all the data. You're going to see this with Facebook and Twitter and all these big social media outlets where they're trying to shut down everything that they don't like. Alex Jones is claiming that it's because, they're right-wing and that's why they don't like them. But right-wing people ban people too. Are the Donald bans people? Are the Red Pill, which we know is run by Republicans, bans people? Shit like that. So it's not a left or right wing issue, at least within regards to capitalism, because right and left wing capitalism is still capitalism. And regardless of what you think, the fact of the matter is that you cannot ban people. And if you choose to ban people, you have taken away their liability on their end as an individual onto yourself as the property owner. That's what happens when you own property, people. That's the big boy pants you gotta wear. Now, some wannabe lawyer out there is going to point out the Internet Defense Law. I'm miswording that. I'm not claiming to know the exact name of the law. I would have to look it up. But the gist of the Internet Defense Law is that websites aren't accountable for the content that gets posted on the web, the big scary web. And see, and I can point this out with confidence because therein lies the contradiction. How can they not be liable if they're banning people? If they're controlling it, if they're controlling the content, they're deleting posts, they're banning certain posters, they can alter the post at any time. By natural law, they have to be accountable. And guess what? There are hierarchies to the law. Whether or not the Internet Defense Law is a federal law, that can be superseded by, constitutional law. And constitutional law usually tends to come with certain federal laws that, override the federal law of the Internet Defense Law, which was made in 1998 or something? So, there's all these issues. And then on top of that even, let's say that they aren't liable as a website owner, maybe they're still liable as a human being and as a, party leader, so to speak, of a radical fringe group. Because that's another thing. When you are considered the leader of a criminal organization, let's say you're a Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, for example, you are liable for the damages caused by Klan members. That's why, you see the CIA and FBI and shit always over the shoulder of Grand Wizards and Dragons and Dungeons and Dragons type shit, or whatever they call themselves. And, because as the leader of these radical groups, they are considered responsible for the actions of the underlings. And, so while you might not be considered liable as a moderator specifically, it could be argued that you are still in charge of Anonymous, of trolls, and shit like that, and you would still be liable. But me as an individual, or you as an individual, could not be, under any circumstance, because there's just too many things weighing against you where it wouldn't make any fucking sense. And when you get right down to it, the law doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because it can't make sense, because then people couldn't make money if it made sense. If it made sense, any sort of regulation would impose upon them, and that'd be the Soviet Union, and they're not going to do that. But then you end up having this system where everyone just has to play ignorant, and that's really dumb and self-destructive. Why are you going to purposely play dumb and not benefit yourself? That's even worse than if you were to just say, guess what? If you ban me, fuck you. If somebody, blows your head off because I doxed you and they're crazy, oh well, and that's the way you got to look at it. And then all these fucking, sociopath moderators get pissed at me. You could stop banning people at any time and that shit wouldn't happen to you. You could say, I never banned anybody. I never claimed to be in charge. I don't own anything, so, I'm not taking responsibility. But you want to have this Burger King paper crown on your head, but then you don't want the responsibility and the liability of that sort of power structure. What gets me is Americans talk about individualism and liberalism and, progress and shit like that, and they don't want autonomy. They just want to either be the ones pushing people around, or they want some big daddy, be it a corporation or government or whatever, to do the pushing around for them. And, they do their little clap, and yay, they banned all the trolls, be they the right-wing trolls or the left-wing trolls or whatever, not realizing that the more they allow that to happen, the worse it's going to get, and the more saturated and just contradictory bullshit it's going to become, and they're drowning in it. You're currently seeing them drown in the fucking contradictory capitalist lawful system that just it cannot be both. It cannot be both. It can't continue on. And you're slowly starting to see that where Alex Jones is like, we got to go after Twitter and we got to go after Facebook, and the liberals are even like, we got to go after Facebook and we got to go after whatever. 4chan probably, because 4chan's more right wing than Reddit and shit. But whatever. The point is, all of these websites are bad, and all of these websites should be held accountable legally for what is said online and what is done online. If somebody cyberbullies your kid into suicide, that's Reddit's fault. That's 4chan's fault. That ain't my fault. That ain't your fault. It sure as hell isn't the troll that did its fault, because it can't be. It just can't. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. And I understand that, they want to benefit somehow. They want to somehow sneak around the system and come out on top, and somebody else gets screwed and is on the bottom. But that's not going to happen. That's not realistic. What is realistic is you flip the table over and you're like, fuck you. If you want this, then you got to deal with these consequences. Everybody always loves talking about consequences. Well, here's the consequences right here and now. You are either a legal person online, you as an individual are a legal person, and you're responsible for your own content and what you say and what you impose and what you say you're going to do, and it's dangerous, it's threatening. But on top of that, then you can never be banned. They can never alter your posts, because that would be considered a defacement and fraud. They cannot, just tell you that you can't post here and shit like that, because you are a free autonomous individual. And you would be owed so much in backlogs from all the times you have been, that it would be impossible to enforce. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to hold the website owners accountable. And the internet will change. For the better or for worse, I don't know. But if you ask me, it can't get much worse.